After decades of matching, and often overcoming the heretic naval menace with the might of the royal fleet, the Crown of England now finds most of its battles are fought on their own land. Ever since the disastrous naval Battle of Bloodied Cliffs in 1805, England has been a country at war. Betrayed by the Prince of Wales, who switched sides in the middle of the battle, the remnants of the English fleet were only salvaged thanks to Admiral Nelson's rearguard action and the heroic sacrifice of HMS Bellerophon. The rest of the fleet limped into Portsmouth to fight another day, though mercifully so great was the toll exacted by Nelson's defiant last stand that an immediate full-scale invasion of Britain was averted, for the legendary admiral took the Great Red Dragon, the flagship of the heretic fleet, to the bottom of the ocean with him. The years that followed were hard for England. With their lost dominance of the waves, its overseas territories were gone, and even the vital trade with mainland Europa became a desperate struggle. Heretic naval raiding parties caused widespread chaos and destruction all along the Albion coastline, often striking deep into the countryside, pillaging and burning towns and cities before being intercepted by the Crown Army, which was being stretched to its limits. Faced with death by 1,000 cuts, King Robert the Longsword reformed the army to counter this threat, and began plans for the building of a secret weapon to safeguard the nation, putting the fate of England in the hands of Project Invincible, the construction of the moving fortress of Britania. Completed in the year 1907, the construction of the moving fortress of Britania and its entry in the Great War finally stabilized the situation on English shores, as it was able to match and exceed the heretic forces in any type of warfare. Wherever the infernal powers decided to attempt a landing, by simply moving there under its own immense power and unleashing its devastating combined arms power upon the invaders, the moving fortress is a marvel of industrial engineering, a titanic fleet carrier and battleship that can traverse both land and sea. This Leviathan patrols the shores of England, leaving a thick trail of black smoke and 3-foot deep tracks in its wake. It acts both as a mobile base for England's high command, an unrivaled artillery stronghold, and the only faithful ship that can engage heretic behemoth-class vessels in one-on-one naval combat and emerge victorious. It is equally capable of engaging the heretic fleets at air, sea, or on land. Within the vastness of its force superstructure stands the fortress monastery of the 10,000 Knights of Street. George, who can match even the fiercest heretics in close-quarter combat. An entire armored corps accompanies Britania, and a full fleet consisting of 1/3 of England's remaining naval strength acts as its escort. Above it, the finest of England's air knights fly their fighter planes and naval bombers when the fortress goes to war, which is often. The heretic high captains are well aware of the strategic value of controlling the British Isles, and they constantly strive to establish a beachhead that would lead to eventual conquest. Though thus far, without lasting success, due the might of the fortress. The technology that allows Britania to move over shorelines is unknown, and a closely guarded secret of the Crown. Whatever the source of this innovation, it allows the fortress to travel across the land of most English beaches, albeit slowly. When crawling upon England's shores, a great noise and deafening hiss of steam can be heard, and it appears that the ship does not touch the ground at all. If there is a weakness to the moving fortress, it is the fact that it is the only one of its kind. England's reserves of orichalcum and other critical minerals that were required to construct the pride of the nation were depleted by the enormous effort to build it, and current production and trade of such materials can barely maintain the repairs to the fortress and the rest of the fleet. Within the British Isles, the moving fortress is a delicate issue to discuss. It is dedicated to the defense of England alone, and her neighbors grumble that while Englishmen sleep soundly in their beds under its protection, the heretic navies raid Alba, Ere, and the lands of Wales with impunity. The English crown counters these accusations by pointing out that it is only the fear of the fortress that stops the hulking behemoth-class heretic battleships from approaching the shores of the three islands and mounting full-scale invasions on them all. Britania proudly displays the heraldic device of the three lions. Until the construction of the moving fortress, the English coat of arms carried only the two lions of Willem the Conqueror. When the construction of Britania was completed, a third lion was added. No ruler before had dared to raise their own device next to that of William I. On the prow stands the defiant image of Lady Britania, carrying the sword forged in part from the melted sword, Cortana, signaling that England will show no mercy to enemies that come to plunder its shores. The sailors of the fleet swear that the figurehead has the power to turn aside any heretic artillery shell due to the divine providence granted to it by God. Whether this is true or not, the proud figurehead has never been touched by an enemy weapon, adding to the mystique and majesty of this, the foremost defender of England. They say Britania no longer rules the waves. This is indeed correct, for wherever it goes, the moving fortress rules the land, sea, and the sky all at once.